Hi everyone, it's Miss Holly. I'm from the East Grand Rapids branch and I'm here to share with you some really fun reads from our easy early chapter book section. So this section is amazing and they're in every single branch, so just wait. And I know that you've been in the early reader section, probably loving your Mo Willems books, all right? But this section, you will find some wonderful books about, for instance, Kate DiCamillo, she does have a pig book, all right? So Mercy Watson is a great story for you to read. And she has easier books to read and even some harder books to read. So she's a good one. But I'm going to talk today also about some other things that you can find in this collection, like this one here, Astronaut Girl. Okay, this one was really fun. She is Vale, and she has a new neighbor named Wallace, and they really love science. And you know what? All of the pages and all of the print is written in purple. So if you like purple, this is your book, okay? Well, they end up exploring the moon. They actually go to the moon. And I don't know if it's make-believe or not. It might be real that they really do go to the moon. I don't know. But anyway, so Vale, the girl, this is Astronaut Girl, she has a really science mind, and Wallace is way more like make-believe. You know, he's dreaming up about aliens and all that. But when they land on the moon, you know, things happen. You never know. You know, there might be some peril. They might get lost on the moon. But what else I really love about this book is there's an astro cat. Yeah, they bring the cat to the moon too, and a little baby, which is really fun. But throughout this whole story, you are sprinkled with like true facts about science, okay, and the travels of space. And one of them is the Apollo 11 was made up of 3 different modules. They're like 3 spaceships that were all together into one big spaceship, and I didn't even know that. And Vale, she knows everything about space food and gravity on the moon. You know, there's a little bit of gravity on the moon, and I didn't even know that. That's why people are like bouncing instead of like floating away, because there's a little bit of gravity, which is kind of cool. And she talks about Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who are like the first people to ever step on the moon. And she talks about the flag, which used to be United States flag, and now it's white because it's faded. It's been so long since we've been on the moon. So really fun book about traveling to the moon. What else can we find in this collection? Let's keep walking down here. Let's see here. Oh yeah. For all the book people that love dogs, this is a good one. It's about a sheepdog. I have a sheepdog at home. I understand how they really love to chase and run around and stuff like that. Well, this is Bo. He loves to run around, but he's a puppy, so he doesn't really know how to, herd sheep yet. And he has other problems with, just being a dog, a sheepdog. His one good friend is a sheep. His name is Puff. Puff gets into a little trouble, ends up kind of out there lost, and it takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of learning to figure out how to help your friend. So this is a really fun dog book, all right? Very fun. And this is Good Dog, Heard You Loud and Clear, which is really funny. And this is by Cam Higgins. So good dog book. Oh yeah. Talk about fun and unusual. Look at these characters. I mean, who thinks of drawing these kind of characters? All right, and they're best friends. So this is Kondo and Kazumi, and this is by Dave Goodner. And this is a really fun series, okay? There's 3 books in this series, all right? And these guys live on an island where there's like flitter birds and fluffer bunnies. Fluffle bunnies. So fun, so original. And the illustrations are really great. They really do remind me of Kate DiCamillo. So if you have any of those fans out there, this is a good one. All right, so going off, living on an island where there's fluffle bunnies and lots of fruit and berries, it sounds really fun. But then all of a sudden, Kazumi finds a bottle with a message in it that's washed up onto their island. And in it, it says, "You are not alone." You are not alone. Ooh, sounds kind of scary. I don't know. So they end up building a boat because It's actually a map, and I don't know about you, but I love maps and adventures, and I love sailboats. So like, wouldn't you build your own sailboat and zoom off into the great unknown to find all these different islands? I mean, yeah. So that's what they do, and they sail off and they find the most funniest islands. They find a cheese island, and they find another island that is really kind of scary, Fire Skull Island. Ugh, I would skip that one. I just would. So this story is right up your alley if you like bravery, excitement, and most of all, friendship stories. So this is really good. So yeah, so again, there's like 3 in the series, and this is by David Goodner. So very, very fun. All right, so this collection is pretty big, isn't it? And you'll definitely find your fairy stories, your rainbow fairy stories. There's lots of that by Meadows. There's Magic Tree House. You probably have heard of Magic Tree House. We have these books in this collection. Oh yeah, and then Desmond Cole Ghost Patrol. This is a great series as well. So let me talk a little bit about this one. This is actually number 12. I think there's 15 books in the series, but don't quote me. I can't really remember. But this one is about the vampire that ate my homework. Hilarious story. There's a really funny fart scene. I'm gonna put it out there. It's hilarious. I was rolling. All right. So, so this guy, Desmond, he is a ghost patrol. He's like the coolest kid on the block. And his new neighbor comes in, and his new neighbor's name is Andreas. His name is Andreas, and he moves into a new house. And this Andreas really likes things boring and normal, and like just, you know, just boring and normal. You know what boring and normal feel like? Yeah. So, but he finds out that there's like something in his house, and it ends up being a ghost with a tummy ache that wants to live in his house forever. So what would you do? Well, you say, sure, right? Sure, you can live here. I don't care. Well, that is really fun. And they ended up having a great relationship, really good friendship book. This is actually the latest in the series. This The Vampire Ate My Homework. And in this story, the vampire is a teacher, and their school is actually a castle, which is really cool. And their classroom pet is like a mystery pet. And they have a great homework assignment where they have to go home and cook with their family and bring the food back to share it with their classroom. And all sorts of stuff happen when his vampire teacher eats garlic. And the garlic gives the teacher a little bit of a tummy ache. And that's the fart scene. So funny. So really great series. Again, you'll get hooked on them, and there's a lot of them. So really, really fun. So we're getting to the end of our book collection. But there's something in here for everybody. You still have your leveled readers. You still have Star Wars, all right? There's still pictures in these books, which help you with your reading, which I think is really important. It's not just all words. You got your Sam Wu, is Not Afraid of Sharks, another great series. There's something in here for everyone, even easier books to read that are still very graphic novel-y. Yeah, like Smell My Foot. I'm not gonna smell the foot. Would you smell the foot? I'm not sure. Mrs. Aker is a maker. Mrs. Aker is a maker is another great fun story. And even if you're more, if you like reading and you're reading it really, you're like ready to launch into J fiction, this is another good series for you to check out. And this is Power Forward by Hannah Khan, and there's 3 in this series as well. So I think that's about it. I want to talk to you about this collection. Again, you can find the easy chapter book sections in each of your branches or your local library. So check it out, all right? KDL.org, all right? Bye, you guys.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a branch librarian at the Tyrone Township branch at Kent District Library, and I have got a few junior easy books that I recommend from the last 6 months to a year. The first one I have here is J.D. and the Great Barber Battle. This is by Jay Dillard and illustrated by Akeem S. Roberts. And this talks about a boy named J.D. who is about ready to start school. And so he tells his mom he needs a haircut, and he is very specific about the kind of haircut he wants. He wants a fade. So his mom does his hair, but it's not great. She's not like an awesome hairstylist. She's in fact a medical professional. So this is not really her strong suit, but money's tight. And so they don't have money to go to the barber. So this is good enough. JD doesn't think so though. He worries about going to school. He does get a little bit of teasing from his friends for the wonky haircut. And so he decides that he's gonna fix it himself. And so he gets out the clippers and he fixes his own hair, and it turns out really great. So other kids notice how great his hair is and how well he can do hair. And they start paying him to cut their hair. So he has got this little side hustle kid barbershop going on at his house on Saturdays. Then the great barber in town catches wind of this, and so they battle it out to see who is the best barber. They come up with a great solution in the end that I won't spoil for you, but it's a really fun book, and it's so relatable when you think about being a kid in school and needing things to look just right, but not always having access to like that image you have of being like the coolest kid. And also it's about finding hidden talents, coming up with solutions to problems. It's a really great book overall. The next book I have here is from the series Desmond Cole Ghost Patrol. This book is number 13, how appropriate, The Vampire Ate My Homework. This is by Andres Miedoso and illustrated by Victor Rivas. This particular book is about Desmond and Andres and their weird school and their even weirder teacher. So they go to school in this old mansion. Everything is like haunted. It's all kind of creepy. And their teacher, who is Dr. Acula, just seems a little odd. Their class pet is always covered in a blanket. So they don't even know what the class pet is because it's always hidden in the dark when they're there. Then they get a class assignment to do cooking with their family, and everyone brings in their dishes, and it's great. And then their teacher eats a lot of garlic. Now, as you may guess, the teacher is in fact a vampire, and the garlic does not agree with him. So you can see what happens after that. This is one of those great books that's mostly fun, but a little bit suspenseful and a little bit creepy, but just enough to get that atmosphere. But in the end, yes, there are fart jokes. It's really fun and not actually scary at all. My next book I have here is from the Critter Club series. This is number 22, Ellie, Tames the Tiger. This book series is by Callie Barkley and illustrated by Tracy Bishop. And this, the whole series is about a group of kids who take care of animals, the Critter Club, as you may have guessed. And in this one, Ellie, who is a second grader, gets kind of a starring role in the school play. So she's in drama club. She does this play. It's great, but she's partnered with a new kid who is a little bit clumsy. So they have a dance scene together. He kind of steps on her and kind of hurries away, and she thinks he didn't even apologize. So she's kind of wondering what's up with that. In the meantime, there is an issue with the Critter Club. There is an animal that keeps escaping and getting all over the place, and she just doesn't know what to do. Turns out she is able to kind of bond with her new partner, and he helps her solve the problem. And she learns that he wasn't in fact rude. Like he's new to school, and so he's still learning his way around things. And so you really learn from the book about how to give people the benefit of the doubt, to know not to judge them right away, to really, get to know somebody before you think that you know anything about them. So it's a really cute book. It's fun. It's got cats. that's my favorite. So then my next book is Mindy Kim from the Mindy Kim series. This is Mindy Kim and the Trip to Korea, and it's by Lila Lee and illustrated by Dong Ho. And this is really fun. This is about 9-year-old Mindy, who goes to Korea for the first time with her dad and her dad's girlfriend. Her parents were born in South Korea, but she was born in the United States and grew up in the United States in San Francisco. So this is her first trip. So even though she knows a lot about Korean food and she learns a little bit of the language, and there are plenty of customs that she has learned from her parents, there's still something about going to a new country which is really exciting, but also a little bit scary. She meets not only her grandparents, but her aunt and uncle and some cousins. And she worries that she's not going to be able to like have anything to talk about with her cousins. But right away they start communicating, even though Mindy has, speaks imperfect Korean and her cousins speak imperfect English. They find ways to bond. They find these things that are the same, like across cultures. They both end up, they end up playing Mario Kart. So all of these things that she didn't expect to be familiar were. And so it's just a really fun story about getting to know your home culture or any other culture, getting to travel, and really getting to know people that are dear to you, even though you've never met them. So I very much liked this one. The next book I have is The Kingdom of Renly. This is number 16 in this series, called The Dream Portal. So this is a fantasy that it's about two kids named Lucas and Clara. They have to save their dragon friend, who has, in this magical kingdom of Renly, there's like one place where people don't go because it's enchanted. It's the dream portal. And so their dragon friend ends up falling under the spell of this dream portal, and they have to save him. So very exciting, adventurous. You get your fantasy in there, and see who saves the day. Then the next book I have here is Fort Builders. This is another series, and this is by D. Romito. This one's called The Battle of the Blanket Forts. So the series in general follows these kids who have their own little business where they build forts, and they're great fort builders. So in this particular book, the main character and her friends are at a camp, and there's the girls' cabin and the boys' cabin, and they decide there's a big competition to see who can build the best blanket fort in their cabin. But the girls have this amazing fort. The boys have a little bit of trouble though. And so this book talks a lot about identifying problems and problem solving, about teamwork and getting along with others. So it's got some really valuable social lessons, as well as just being fun, and they're building blanket forts at camp. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? Then the next book I have here is a Minecraft book. This is actually a book that I am currently reading with my son, and he is loving it. I mean, aren't we all? So this is the Minecraft, the Stone Sword Saga. It's a tongue twister. Crack in the code. And so this is about some friends at a school who have this really cool access to like this virtual reality Minecraft, because they have like a mad scientist, genius teacher that's in charge of their computer lab and all their science department and stuff. So they have this amazing connection to Minecraft. But of course they have other things that they're doing in school and in life, and so they have to kind of balance that with the game. The kind of main character in this story is new to their group, and he's having a little trouble fitting in. There are two or three of the gang are really very supportive of him, but there's this one guy that is just not. He's really, I don't know if he's jealous of like him being new, or just one of those things where he's not willing to give him a chance. And so Theo, the main character in this book, is trying to find a way to fit in, and just work together, how to not break those friendship rules that they all put together. And also there's lessons about how to again, not judge others, how to work as a team. And so it's not only fun and has that Minecraft aspect to it, fun adventure, but also a great book about friendship and the troubles that you run into with friends as you're growing up, and the way to resolve those. Got a couple more here. This one is The Secret Spy Society and the Case of the Missing Cheetah. This is by Veronica Mang. This is like Nancy Drew, but for younger kids, and it's cooler. Like, I love this. I wish this would have been around when I was a third grader. It's these very precocious girls who kind of get into everything, and they go on a mission to try to track this missing cheetah, and they run into this group of spy ladies. So a bunch of women who are just super spies, and it's just very cool. It's it's more word intensive than maybe some of the earlier junior books. And so it's definitely something for a little more advanced readers, but a great story, great illustrations, and it's super fun. Like I said, I wish I would have had that as a kid because I would have eaten it up. Then I have definitely Damangita, The Knight of the Cape. This is by Terry Katsutz Jennings and illustrated by Fatima Anya. This is about a girl named Damangita, as you may have guessed by the title, who is a total bookworm, normal kid, but also loves books. And so she will be found at recess just reading. She comes across a book called Don Quixote and decides that she wants to be a knight and do kind things all just around the neighborhood and around the school and around town. So she decides to become a knight. She talks to her librarian about it. And she is told by the school bully that girls can't be knights. So she sets out to prove him wrong, which I always love when a strong girl, shows up a bully. So that's definitely right up my alley. Also great for the bookworms out there who, have that imagination and they can totally relate to that, just pretending you're someone else. And so that was another really great one. I have one last book here. All of these were fiction except for this last one. I did throw a nonfiction in there. So this, if you're at our library, is actually going to be in the junior nonfiction section, but it's still kind of that same age range. So I thought I'd throw it in here. This is part of the She Persisted series, and so it's based on a picture book by Chelsea Clinton and Alexandra Boyger. There's this whole series now of these chapter books that are biographies about, amazing women throughout history. This particular one is about Ruby Bridges, and it's written by Kekla Magoon. So anybody who wants to read the amazing inspirational story of the little girl who was the first Black girl to enter this school that was being integrated, and what she, as a 6-year-old, what she was up against, and the things that she had to go through. This is a great young reader's version of that story. And so it's a great important story in our history. It's really inspiring and just really well written. So I hope you have liked some of my suggestions. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your local librarian. Thank you.